I'm a Latin American Studies major at Smith College, and I knew I wanted to go to Latin America. So I chose Bolivia and SIT in conjunction together because of how like intensive, like I said, the academics are. So I got there and I was really welcomed and supported in the orientation program. They do an excellent job of having just like every aspect of the city and your new life kind of introduced to you in the first 3 days. There's this thing called the drop off, which I think is really emblematic of SIT in general. And so the drop off is you are taken to a central location in the city and then given a location to go to and no other information actually on your second or third day of orientation. And me and my partner had an awesome time asking people. We were comfortable with our Spanish by then, just because we'd been given a few preliminary, like, this is how you ask for directions, this is how you get on a bus, that kind of thing. But we spent 2 hours finding out about our location and like making friends on the street, and then came back to SIT to sort of talk about it. So I think that that kind of combination of like freedom and guidance is like what marked my program. The classes continued to be like that, I think, because we got this really amazing instruction in our lecture type classes. So when you were sitting in a classroom with the other people on the program, we had really amazing lecturers come in addition to like the people that worked at SIT themselves were super amazing, and just like we had this really intersectional type of learning going on there. But also we would do things like visit the cemetery during a 3-hour Spanish class and talk to the children that worked in the cemetery in the center of Cochabamba, which is the location of the Bolivia program. So it was a very cool combination of really, really experiential learning and really guided and intensive academics. And another thing I wanted to talk about was that I had an amazing experience with my host family. And I think that SIT definitely had a lot to do with that. So my host family had been working with SIT for 16 semesters, I think, and it had many, many students before me and were really, really supportive of my Spanish learning, of the hours I had to spend in classes. But we were able to work around all that, and we went out on weekends on family trips on Sundays. And they showed me so much of Bolivia that I couldn't have gotten just in the classroom. So that was totally amazing. The host families are really amazing. And another significant feature of the Bolivia program is that there are lots of excursions and trips as a class. So the whole trip, whether it's like 3 or 4 days or 10 days, will be considered class time. But your class time is like hiking a rainforest and learning about the plants there, or farming rice in the lowlands, or picking potatoes in the highlands, swimming in Lake Titicaca. So it was really amazing. A little summary.
Excellent. Great, thank you. And tell us about your ISP experience.
Sure. So the ISP is really exciting month. It's 4 weeks of freedom, basically, to design your own very rigorous research topic question and use all of your Spanish skills and your new intellectual introduction to Bolivia to form a thesis and write a paper, or do a book or do a project, some kind of thing that you design for yourself that's up to you. So I knew coming into Bolivia, I actually applied with the idea to work with community radio stations. And so I found a lot, like immediately SIT placed me with an advisor. So during the 3 months that you're in school, like classes, you do ISP classes and you meet with an advisor, and they push you on your topic and ask you to do some preliminary research and focus your questions. So I had immediate support for the radio idea and I stuck with it. And during my ISP period, I was bouncing around Cochabamba, talking to a bunch of people in radio. I did a bunch of wonderful interviews. I had so much fun. I met with just one anecdote. I met with a professor of social communication at one of the local universities. Just, emailed him and we decided to meet up. And the interview was supposed to be an hour, and it was 3 hours long, just because we were talking so much. It was really comfortable. Yeah, you'll find a lot that's open to you in the city, especially with the support networks of SIT. They kind of give you connections to lead you to those interviews and have those opportunities. So that was really cool. And then I ended up writing a 40-page paper on the democratic implications of community radio and how the democratization of information can be applied to social justice ends and the current situation with the government and their support, sort of paradoxical support of community radio. So yeah, I had a blast. There's a half an hour presentation at the end of the ISP period. So everyone comes back and shares what they've done over the month. And I was worried about it because it's a half an hour of talking in academic Spanish, but it like flew by because you can accomplish so much with 4 weeks of just you in a project that you're passionate about. And I hadn't even realized. It was just like, it was very cool.
Wow, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it was
Great. Well, that was a great summary of the whole program.
awesome. Thanks.
Thank you so much. So we're going to end there. Thank you so much. Thanks for being with us.
Okay, thanks so much, Vanessa. Bye.